In today's video, I want to talk about the illusion of the self, the possibility that you might not exist, not in the way that you might hear from other people that this is a simulation and this is a video game and the game and the character doesn't exist. Let's go a little deeper than that. Let's say you have your preferences. You might like tea or coffee. You wake up, you drink your tea, you check your phone, and you check your favorite apps. Then you think, yes, I am this person who likes this kind of tea, this kind of coffee. And I'm here, and I'm going somewhere in my life. And I'm here probably somewhere behind my eyes because I'm able to see things, I'm able to hear. So I might be somewhere in between my head, somewhere in between my brain, because that's where the little narrator, who's always blabbering something or the other, says this is something I like, this is something that gives me anxiety. And there's a constant dialogue, a constant monologue that goes on the moment you wake up till the moment you're asleep. Just before you're sleeping, sometimes the monologue is so fast and so much that you're not even able to sleep. And the self thinks that it is important and it has something important to say to you. So that is what the little narrator inside, we'll call it the self, or that's what I think right now it is. It's the identity, the ego, whatever you want to call it. Let's call it the self right now. What if that self isn't real? Because that self used to talk in a certain way when you were 10 years old. It spoke in a different way when you were 20 years old. It had different perspectives, different attitude when, let's say, you're 40 right now. And it's completely different than the way it was at 30. So the narrator keeps changing. It keeps evolving. So something that changes, can it be real? Now I want you to explore this. If there's some anxiety going on, don't try to let it go. Explore that. Explore the self. Because when you look at the mental construct that the self has created, it has done an amazing job. It has built up a beautiful hallucination about itself. And it says, this is real, this is what happens, this is what I believe in. And it holds on to that so strong because it doesn't want you to know that it's fake. The moment the narrator, the director of a movie, if you find out that it's fake, then it loses its job. So it makes the noise much more louder. It makes those thoughts much more vivid. And it says, you are this job, you are this name, you belong to this country, you belong to this religion. And it keeps on going on and on and on. And sometimes you've got this feeling that maybe there's something wrong with this process. There's something wrong with what's happening. There's something separate. I might not be the self. Because when Buddha, before he was Buddha, he was Siddhartha, he sat under a tree and eventually he just got enlightenment. That's what people said, and that's what's written in the books. Eventually he came out and he said, when he was asked questions, he said that there is no self. There is no me. It's a temporary thoughts and feelings and emotions, and it's just playing in your brain. You are not your preferences of your favorite apps, preferences of shows on Netflix. All of those things are bound together with a thing called as identity, with a thing called as ego. It looks so fucking real. It looks solid. But it's like that castle the sand castle that kids make. One single wave and poof, it all goes away. Because when you understand that it doesn't have a very solid foundation, then you see that you, the small self that believes that I might not be good enough, there's a lot of poverty in the world, there's a lot of, I'm not talking about the facts, I'm talking about the beliefs that you might not succeed. All of that might be coming out from an illusion, because neuroscience cannot find a self in the brain. The best of the best scientists and doctors, try to investigate the brain, and they found out that there's no self, there's no command center. That's what Alan Watts said in one of the speeches, that we are really a bundle of thoughts and emotions, and it's backed by memory. Because if you don't have that memory, then one day you'll just wake up at 5-6 o'clock in the morning and you'll be just like panicking, because the brain wants memory to exist. And yes, you need it for day-to-day existence, but you don't need it constantly, you don't need it all the time. The self keeps you trapped in a confined space, and you call it me, you call it you, and it's different all the time. You still call it the same, you still call it like a constant self. I realize that when my self talks a lot and I'm not able to get a hold of that, and it controls my entire life and my day and my behaviors, all of that, it depends on the kind of food I have, the amount of sleep I got, and also the kind of environment I'm in. When I've eaten really oily, spicy food and I've got less sleep, oh my god, the self becomes, it gets fuel and it cannot be stopped. I can't get a hold of that at all. But that's the reason why I recommend this to all my clients, my relatives, my friends as well, that in order to awaken from the matrix, have simplicity, have minimalism, simple food, get at least 8 hours of sleep. There are few people who can really sustain with 5-6 hours. If you're a very high conscious being, like a saint, a guru, or all of that, continue with that. But if you're like 99% people like me, then yes, get 8 hours. Even if you want to get 8.5 or 9 hours, do that. Have very clean food, and then you can investigate. Or else you think you're investigating, but it's the self pretending to be the awareness, and it investigates. So I want you to get better than that voice. I want you to be the witness of that voice. I don't want you to always believe that I am this person, I'm better than that person. When I go on social media, automatically that voice comes in and says, compare yourself. This person is going out on a vacation. Oh my god. And or you start uploading your posts about your life and you start getting pride and obsession, and there's a lot of addictions, and there's different things like jealousy and shame, and everything is this thing called as self. Can we look at that? You can't fight that. You can just look at that, because if you fight that, the narrator is so good. It knows about your experiences, it knows about your guilt and shame, it knows what you've done, it knows all of those things, and it gives back to you because it doesn't want to lose the game. So I want you to play this game not in the way you thought you could win this game by playing it in your style, not in the way you think you can win this game. Let's not play this game. Because if that's not the real you, then what's the point? What's the point of playing this game? Can we look at this game and fucking laugh? Because the plot twist is that it is freeing. When I say there's no self, it's not scary. It's scary for the self, not you. You're not the self. You're the witness of the self. It's freeing. It's not, you're not trapped in just one identity. Look at that. You're not that. If you had a worst day or a worst year, you're not that. You're just the witness of that. The self will keep on bringing back that memory and warn you and keep you back in that trap. You're not that character. You're not that. You're a liberating space when you look at the illusion. And a completely different world opens up. I'll just keep it with that. I just wanted to talk about the self, because when I was meditating, I really felt that there were a lot of thoughts going on, that I'll do this and that, and then I'll achieve this, and me. I was like, hey, what's that voice? Maybe that's not me. Maybe I'm the witness of the voice. And that thing just gave me a lot of liberation, gave me a lot of peace of mind. And from that space, kids have that. From that space, true imagination just happens without force. True action just emerges out of that without you doing anything. It's called Wu Wei. I'll make another video of that. It's called effortless action. When you're just the witness, the action just happens on its own. Like the way you sleep and the body just heals itself. Similarly, you don't need to do anything. You're not the self. You're not the identity. You're the power beating your heart. You're the power behind it. You're the witness of the self. With that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Stay as awareness. Peace.